Hi, my name is Miley, and I am a senior in high school. Gross, I know. And has anyone else noticed that our world is kind of going to crap? Like you turn on the news and people are yelling at each other, you go outside and people are yelling at each other, you go on social media and lo and behold, people are yelling at each other. It feels like there's a huge amount of hate and just general negative vibes, which is just not amazing. I've noticed that it's really easy to show how much you hate people. Like you don't necessarily need to say, I hate people who don't put away carts at the grocery store if you're always yelling at them and posting about them and just in general are a jerk to them. So my question is, can you spread love that same way? It's all well and good to tell someone you love them or post about how much you love something. That's amazing, please don't get me wrong. But what would it look like if people were just as actionable with their love as they are with their hate? What does it even look like to actionably love the people in your life? I am spending this school year exploring that exact premise. Through interviews, research, and hands-on experience, I'm going to be trying to learn about what it looks like to intentionally and actionably love myself, my friends, my family, and my community. Woohoo! In order to properly love the people around you, you have to have a healthy foundation of respect and love for yourself. At least that's what I've heard on Instagram and stuff. So that's gonna be our starting point. See, I'm really bad at this. Over the last 18 years, I have created a patented blend of immense insecurity and pride. I will, within 2 hours, go from tearing myself apart over one tiny mistake to spending 3 hours and $50 sitting on the couch watching Bridgerton and ordering Chick-fil-A because I really needed this. I did not need it, and neither of those are particularly healthy, at least on the regular. So that's gonna be our baseline control for the year, and we're gonna see how being more loving towards myself impacts the rest of this project. Actionable self-love is a pretty big term, and it can feel a little overwhelming to just whoosh, go straight into it. So we're gonna break it down into 3 base components. First one, I gotta hit my iPad. Patience. Building healthy habits and not giving up on yourself when you inevitably mess up, because we're all gonna mess up because we're human. Our second one is confidence. Not allowing your insecurity to stop you from being the best you can be. Yeah. And then our third one is self-care time. Giving yourself time to take care of yourself and recharge, whatever that may look like for you. And taking care of yourself, even when you might not feel like it. So yeah, these are where we're gonna start. Woo! Could you state your name and like your occupation for the people at home?
Yeah, so my name's Hannah Cook-Kelly. I am a mental health counselor specializing in trauma and addictions, and then general mental health concerns like anxiety and depression.
That's so cool. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so one thing I wanted to ask you about is like on the topic of like self-love and self-care and all that stuff, like where is the healthy boundary? Because there's narcissism and then there's like not taking care of yourself at all. So like what would you say like a healthy amount of like self-love looks like?
Yeah, when I saw that question, I thought it was just so interesting. Because like the hot topic it is like narcissism, or like I think in Western culture we really emphasize like comfort, but at the end of the day I want to ask myself the question like, do I even like myself? And I think that's part of growing up and maturing and figuring out who I am. Because I have to put my head on the pillow at some point in the night. Yeah. And am I okay with who I am and my profession and my choices? And is this what I want my life to look like, in as much as I get to have control over that? I think the other thing I think about with this question is, am I wanting to like care for myself and love myself only for the purpose of me getting to have that enjoyment? Or do I get to give it away? So whether or not somebody gets married, whether or not they're unmarried for their whole life, at some point there's going to be very intimate relationships with friends or family, And so do I get to love myself and care for myself and then also give that away? Because otherwise, if I don't give that away, then I think that's where we can fall into that, like, selfishness, the extreme of, like, narcissism. So I think it's important, like, if I'm gonna enjoy who I am, can I enjoy it in so much that I get to give it away to somebody or multiple people as well?
Kind of branching off of that, like, why do you think it's important to, like, take time to, like, care for yourself, and, like, like, take care of yourself and, like, appreciate yourself, kind of?
I think because otherwise I'm a trashy human.
Like, so real, yeah.
I think I'm selfish. I think I put my needs above everybody else's. I'm really good at that. It doesn't take much effort to like put myself first. If you look at, like, toddlers, they steal toys and they steal candy and, like, they do things for themselves. Like, it's not something that we have to be taught how to do. I think it's important that we care for ourselves as, like, a way of us getting to know ourselves. And then again, we get to, like, enjoy and share and invite others into us and into our lives.
Can you state your name and a little bit about you?
Hi, I'm Grace Mikowski. I have 2 cats, and I love Lord of the Rings, and I've had the privilege of being in class with Miley for 6 years now.
Yeah. Do you take any kind of, like, self-care time? And if so, what does that look like for you?
I do self-care Wednesdays, wherein since it's the middle of the week, I just take the day off after school and take care of myself. I do that through bubble baths, candles, tea. Oh yeah, it's a great time.
Oh my god.
I always try to do something creative, like just like coloring or playing an instrument, and then it helps me get through Thursday and Friday. Weekends.
That is so awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
That's actually amazing. So calm.com has this blog post, which is linked on my website, which is linked down in the description, but it lists 8 steps to building and maintaining a morning routine. And so we're going to be following that because according to my research, getting up and immediately rushing and being stressed, which I do every day, it's not really good for you. So yeah, step 1, wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Which is so gross, but that's okay. My school starts at 7:30 en la mañana, so I have to be out of my house by 7. And if I factor in, sorry, I'm looking at my morning routine right here. So if I factor in about 40 minutes to read my Bible and eat breakfast, and then 7-ish minutes to brush my teeth and brush my hair and put on deodorant, and then 5 minutes for makeup and 3 whole minutes for medicine, which is way too much time, but it's better to build too much time in than not enough. That gives us 55 minutes, which walks us back to a wake-up time of 6:05 a.m. And then I'd also like to include a 10-minute buffer for dilly-dallying, and 10 minutes to lie in bed and consider whether or not I actually want to go to school. That gets us to 5:45 a.m. 5:45. That feels very early, but you know, that's okay. This article advises later in it that if you're not getting enough sleep, you should back your bedtime up earlier in increments of 15 minutes until you wake up not feeling groggy and not feeling like you didn't sleep at all. So that'll be fun. That'll be great. I'm gonna go to bed at like 4 p.m. every day. It's gonna be awesome. So step 1 and step 2 are literally the exact same thing. So step 3, start small with your morning routine. So I wake up most mornings at 6:30 or 6-ish. That's the goal. Normally my alarm goes off at 6 and then I lay in bed for 30 minutes and fall back asleep, and then my mom has to wake me up, so love you, Mom. So 5:45 isn't in theory actually a huge jump for me, which is awesome. So I'm gonna go straight for that, even though that's not what they tell you to do, but that's fine, it's fine. But other tiny changes that I can make that'll help is probably showering the night before. because I take 20-minute showers and I refuse to change that. And not forcing myself to eat. I can take a snack or something for the morning at school, but I always wake up feeling awful in the morning, and so forcing myself to eat actually ends up taking more time than if I just wait until I'm feeling good enough. Step 4, make your mornings more enjoyable. Basically, they're saying have something that you look forward to getting out of bed for. And so for me, that'll probably be reading my Bible and drinking coffee, because I'm addicted to both of those things. And then I think I'll also probably play like lo-fi music while I'm getting ready. And then I think I might build a walk into it on the weekends. I don't know, we'll see. I'm probably not gonna keep up with that part, I'm gonna be so real. But yeah, I really enjoy both those things. I really enjoy all of those things, so that'll be good, that'll be fun. Step 5, get organized and prepared the night before. So I'm gonna pack my backpack before going to bed, and I'm gonna charge my computer overnight. That'll get me prepared for my morning. I could also pack my lunch the night before, but I know me and I won't do that, to be completely honest. So, yeah. Step 6, create accountability for yourself. I mean, there's this. But I also got this app, not an ad. It's called Finch. And me and my friends and my mom and I all do it. When you complete little self-care habits, it helps you take care of this little bird, and it's adorable and I love it. And gosh darn it, I can wake up at 5:45 for her. So that'll be happening. Step 7, adjust to new timings gradually. No. Step 8, be patient with yourself and flexible with your habits. My mindset is that I'm gonna try and be as consistent as possible. And if I fail or mess up on a day, I'm just gonna try again the next morning. It's no big deal. We're just gonna do our best. So yeah, I'm gonna spend a month doing this, and I will see you guys after that and let you know how it goes. Hi, how's your day going?
My day's going great. I have chocolate.
Oh, yes. You love that. Oh, snap, that is fun. Would you like to state your name?
Yes, I would love to.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Anaya Bhattacharya. I'm a senior in the DAPS program at Shadow Mountain High School with Miley, and I'm glad to be on this video.
Yeah, we're happy. We are happy.
We are happy to have you.
Yeah. So when it does come up, how do you personally like deal with insecurity?
Okay. This one is a little bit bleak. Love that. Insecurity is something that everyone deals with, unfortunately. Because when you really think about it, for 99% of people, there's more beauty than ugliness.
Yeah.
And I think insecurity-wise, when I have a moment and I think to myself like, oh my gosh, this about you is so ugly, I just try to tune that out and think to the future. So what I mean by that is I think about how like when my funeral comes around,
Yeah.
when I die, because everybody dies.
Yep.
And when you die, no one is going to be sitting at your funeral saying, oh my gosh, she was so ugly.
Yeah.
Like, physically ugly. Like, oh my gosh, she had such an ugly cowlick in the 3rd grade. Oh my gosh, she had a lower belly pouch. Like, oh my gosh, she was a little overweight. Oh my gosh, like, she was just so physically unattractive. Like, no. No, nobody's sitting there talking about that. No.
Yay. Yeah.
It's okay to be insecure, but when you think to the future and you think about your death and everybody's sitting at your funeral, nobody's going to be saying that. What they will be saying, however, is, oh my gosh, she made everybody smile with her quirkiness, with her weirdness. She was kind
she was loving, she gave more good to the world than bad. And I feel like when we notice how the bad energy that you carry with you leaves with you, but the good energy that you leave on this earth stays here, because that's what the people that love you and the people that knew you and the people that you affected remember, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with insecurities. Doesn't silence them, because they're never going to be silent. They're never going to die. They're always going to be there. Maybe a little bit more hushed, but they're always there in the back of your mind. And the truth of the matter is, you just need to be comfortable with the fact that you are able to contribute more good to this world than bad, even if you give a little bit of bad to it. If you counteract that with goodness and more goodness, that just has such a beautiful effect on what you leave on this earth. And then another thing that helps me, one more thing with insecurity, is I like to think to myself, like, nobody actually cares. Because
No, that's so real.
while I might be insecure
Yeah.
about what, my sideburns, my like body hair, like a double chin in a picture, like everybody has those insecurities, but when you really think about it, it's like everybody is so worried about themselves to care about you. They're so worried about how they're showing up to others, how they look to others, to actually pay any attention to you long enough to actually notice your insecurities. So,
Yeah.
be at peace with that.
Okay, so this is what my morning routine ended up being. I would wake up and I would take a shower and get dressed, which was fire. And then I'd brush my hair and dance around a little bit, and do my makeup, which took forever. Then I would do more makeup. And then I'd like brush my teeth and put deodorant on, and then finish my makeup, make coffee and do some Bible reading and journaling. And then I would put my shoes on and get ready to go sit in silence for a little bit. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Hi. Okay, so it's been... it's actually February. We successfully did my morning routine for all of December, and then didn't do it for all of January. And I have thoughts. I'm pretty bad at doing routines anyway. Not like gymnastic routines, I mean like morning routine. I'd say I did it for about like 90% of the days in December. And it's kind of funny because I like noticed a difference in my like mental well-being and like just my emotional state through the whole day on days where I did do my morning routine versus days I didn't. So that was kind of like just waking up early enough to get ready, have a deep breath, have a cup of coffee. I felt a lot less rushed on my way to school, which makes sense. And I was also late a significantly smaller proportion of the time. For all my AP stats people, there is convincing evidence that waking up early leads to me not being late, which makes sense. I think it's definitely a lot of the resources that I saw when I was building like my routine, like just designing it, I ignored them, but they were because of course I did, but they were talking about just the idea of like how important it is to like set realistic goals and expectations. And so like if you get up at 6:30 every morning, which, you know, who would do that, then probably don't set your like alarm first thing for 5:45 and expect it to work, which makes sense because what would happen was that my alarm would go off at like 5:30, 5:45, and I would sit there and scroll on after the first like week and a half, I would sit there and scroll through Instagram. Like, I don't want to be awake right now, and then I'd go back to sleep, and then I'd get up late, and then I'd be like, sorry, my dog, I don't know if you can see this, my dogs are staring at me through the window. A lot of people talk about how it gets like easier to wake up early, the more you do it. And I'm sure it's just part of how I'm wired, but for me it actually got harder because in the beginning I was like, okay, day 1, I can do this. And then day 2, it was like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I've got to do it for my project. And then day 3, I was like, I hate everything. I'm just like so panicked every morning. Versus if I take an extra half hour, like get up half an hour earlier, I'm so much more even keeled and like can actually get to school on time. It sounds like not a huge difference, but it definitely feels like one in a good way and a bad way. I miss feeling prepared for my day. I do not miss getting up at 5:45. So I would rate having a healthy morning routine like a solid 8 out of 10. Hi, so I've had a rough weekend because of house stuff, and so I decided to splurge and get myself a pumpkin spice latte. I forgot. Okay, this is not decaf, so we're gonna be up all night. I walked 0.98 miles this morning. I'm currently laying on the couch, dog right here, watching Drew Gooden on the TV. Chat, is this self-care? Your friends and your family are typically the people who see the best and the worst of you. They're there when you wake up. They're there when you need to use the bathroom or get in the fridge.
What?
And because of that, they're bound to push your buttons from time to time. And if you're anything like me, that means that sometimes you just want to like, just a little bit. Just a little bit. But they're also the people who are there with you through everything. Your friends and your family are the people who, hopefully, walk with you through major life changes, laugh with you, cry with you, etc. Which is why it's so important to be intentional about loving them in a way that they appreciate. Wow. There's this book by Gary Chapman that came out in 1992 called The 5 Love Languages: How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate, which proposed this idea that everyone expresses and understands love a little bit differently, and that these love languages tend to fall into a couple of 5 groups: words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch. To be clear, I did not read this book. I probably should have. But I did a ton of research, and this idea is super important because differences in love languages can cause a lot of miscommunication in relationships, which can be incredibly frustrating, whether they're romantic or platonic. And what's really cool is that this isn't some like strict set of guidelines thing. Typically, the longer you've known someone, the better grasp you're going to have on their love language, just naturally. Do you mind stating your name and information about you for the camera?
Oh, for the camera? Okay. I'm Caitlin. I have a big family. I'm actually a triplet, so that's kind of... So let's say I have an interesting relationship with my 2 sisters.
Caitlin, question. What is your love language? And do you know, like, the love languages of, like, your siblings and stuff?
My love language is probably like physical touch. I want hugs all the time. Give me hugs.
Real.
Everyone else in my family, not huggers. It is an unfortunate disparity. But I can listen, and no one ever explicitly states what their love languages are in my family, so I've had to figure it out through good old-fashioned experimentation, which makes me sound like a horrible person. But I swear it hasn't been mean. I promise. So Allie, who's the oldest of us, in terms of triplets, I'm pretty sure it's like acts of service and receiving gifts.
Yeah.
That and quality time. Everyone loves quality time. It's like to sit in the same room and not talk to each other. That is the best type because we just sit there and we hang out because we're not everyone is as talky as I can be when I get to rambling about my interests. And then Brenna's is also probably, I think hers is more acts of service and quality time than my mom. I have no idea, honestly. I'm 90% sure it's quality time, but I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
Then my little brother,
I think he likes quality time. And it's interesting because just because their love language is just one doesn't mean they express their love for other people in the same way, right? So like the way I express it, I can't give people hugs because they don't really want hugs, so I have to ask for hugs if I want a hug. So I can respect that. But like Brenna tends to do more acts of service, so like she'll help you out, she'll help you in general, or she'll hang out with you, or she'll want to hang out with you. But she wouldn't be kind of the person who would say I love you. In fact, she is horrified by the very idea of it. Sorry, Brenna, I just told your secret to the entire world and the internet.
Oh, they're all gonna know.
Oh, they're all gonna know. No, I got permission, I promise. It was like 2 months ago though, so I'm sure she remembers.
Truly.
Yeah, that's about it. We're just gonna ignore the fact that I have an older brother.
So for you, what does it look like to show love to your family?
I have ADHD, so I'm not a very mindful person. I get very distracted by my own thoughts, and I forget what I'm doing in the middle of doing it. So, what it looks like for me, I try to keep them in mind with whatever I'm doing. So, if I start talking, or I guess yapping at someone is more accurately because I'm excited about something, more often than not, like, let's say, like, a few sentences in, because I get overexcited, I have to take a step back and be like, can I yap at you? And like, if the answer is no, then I have to leave because that only makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it looks like.
And that's sick. In a survey I sent out at the beginning of this year to like as many high schoolers as I could get my grubby little mitts on, one question was, when do you feel most loved by your friends and family? And the vast majority of responses talked about being comforted, acknowledged, intentionally connected with, etc. The things that might seem unimportant or mundane or just a daily occurrence to one person may be the best form of connection for another. And the better you know someone, the easier it is to see what those impactful moments might look like. So my main goal, above all else, is to be intentional and observant with others, especially when it comes to my friends and family. I want to make sure that they feel loved and appreciated. And so, by golly, we are going to do that. Yeah. Like when you were talking about like the days that you like take time to just like, hey, I'm disconnecting from like technology and all that stuff. So like in like relationships with like friends and family and all that stuff, like how would you advise somebody to go about like setting boundaries with others? Just like whether it's like, hey, I'm just taking a day to breathe, or like, hey, this is something that like makes me uncomfortable or whatever. Like what advice do you have for people who are like trying to have those conversations in like a kind and respectful but still firm way?
Yeah. Go slow. I think going slow is important because some things are gonna work and some things are not, but you might not really realize that until you've let time do what time does and like pass by. And so that's one thing that comes to my mind. I think the other thing, more practically speaking, is like, who am I? What are my values? And what types of boundaries do I want to implement to like help protect that value system? Because I think a lot of times we can get confused that boundaries are meant to like control other people, but they're actually meant to control us. And so if I can go slow and then also consider what's my value system and how can I protect that to the extent that I'm able, then what kinds of guardrails do I need to implement? So, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's super helpful.
Okay. I think that you could talk about the humility piece again. Like, I might implement something with my parents or with friends and then realize like, whoa, that is not what I meant. Or like that just came out sideways. Okay, I'm really sorry. Can I try again? So I think just having that humility piece. And also, people don't have to know what all the boundaries that I'm wanting to implement are. I think sometimes we feel like we have to tell. But depending on the circumstance, I don't think it's always necessary. It can be kind of a self process. So I think having that humility is important too.
Do I look like all legs? Do you see my knees in
You
this photo?
can't even see your legs.
Yay.
You actually can't even see your face.
You're actually not
Oh
even.
my gosh, what is behind us? Like
Bricks.
Breaks. Robert.
Robert.
put a flag behind us so that we look like
Oh, sick.
hostages.
Put bags over.
Okay.
She said, if we talk about our love languages, she'll let us go home.
So hi.
Hi.
Hi. Can you guys tell the folks at home like your name and like I don't know something interesting about you?
Sure. I'm Christina Rao.
I'm Tori Wiggs. I'm Miley's mom.
And I'm her sister. And this is Josephine.
She's not my sister. She's my daughter.
I'm
She's
Miley's sister. And it's
This is-
Josie. She's my littlest.
Our baby granddaughter.
Yeah, we love her. Okay. So can you guys do you guys know each other's love languages?
Yes.
Ish.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
So Christina's is gifts. Yet she is a very not materialistic person. She just doesn't do much for herself. So I think that's why she appreciates getting gifts.
That's probably true. I would say mom's is somewhere between quality time or words of affirmation because Josie.
You right, Joe?
Yeah. Josie's is attention. No, I would say mom's is either quality time or words of affirmation. Probably because she just enjoys spending some good time talking and laughing with the people that she loves. And I know it means a lot to her when we verbalize how much we appreciate her, and because she does a lot for all of us. And doesn't always get thanked for it.
That's really sweet. Okay, so Cece, Christina, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, so you guys have been
And how old are
together-
you?
Well,
No
no.
comment.
You guys have been together for 26 years. So what was your guys' relationship like when Christina was growing up?
We've always had a good relationship. I think when Christina was younger, there's a pretty big age gap between Christina and then her younger brother and sister. There's like 6 years where she was by herself. And so, and then Miley and her brother are pretty close in age. So I think there was when you're really young, and for a while, I was, when I started raising two babies that were close in age, that you had more time with your dad. So, but we've always had a good relationship. But I was the less fun one because I was doing more things.
Yeah, I think we got closer as I got older, and we've continued to get closer as I've grown into adulthood.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was gonna ask what is your guys' relationship like now?
Mom's definitely my best friend. I think it's a rare, weird day if we don't talk to each other. And I live across the country in Memphis, so even with that, we still feel like I'm always calling her or texting at minimum. Or I've got 3 kids, and my kids they always ask me to call grandma and grandpa, and so yeah, we
have a great relationship. We're good. It's very as your kids get older and they need you less or differently, it's really neat to get to become friends and kind of become more friends and less. You never stop worrying about them, but it's just a different relationship. It takes on new levels. So
yeah.
we laugh a lot and we are inappropriate and just very fun. So, yep, I kind of like her.
Just a smidge.
Yay! So yeah, you were talking about how you both have kiddos, obviously. So what does it look like for you guys to show love to your kids in a way that not only they'll understand but also works for you?
Yeah, I think so. Right now, my oldest is 5, and then I have a 2-year-old, and then I have Josie, who's 9 months, and they're all in different stages of
pretty significant. As close together as they are in age, they're in very significantly different parts of development in life. And I think for my oldest, with Johnny, it's a lot more showing him as much one-on-one time as I can and direct guidance, versus with Luke, my middle child, my 2-year-old, he's a lot more of just kind of, he wants to be with his siblings all the time, and it's more gently correcting and guiding, but less, he needs less like of that intensely focused time. And then with Josie, she's just at that spot where everything is new and everything is different, and a lot of what she finds in me right now is just that comfort. And so it's been interesting meeting each of them through each developmental, and each kid is a little different too, to where you can kind of get a pulse on what they need in that moment and what is going to speak to them in that time also. But it's definitely no perfect formula. It's different but it's different from day to day for every kid, but definitely different from kid to kid too.
I would say, as my kids are, Miley, you're my youngest, and so, and just barely 18, so that doesn't ever stop, that meeting your kids where they need you, it's kind of always the way that it has to go, or the way that it goes. And that doesn't change from when they're little to when they're old, and have their own kids. So your relationship, kind of like, that friendship that develops, your relationship is different with your kids as they grow into who they are as adults, and the families they're going to lead and have, and the partners they're going to have in their life, all the different decisions they're going to make. They're going to need different things from you, and I'm just happy to be able to have a good relationship with all of my kids, to where they have different needs. Some of them, some of them more physical needs, some of them more emotional needs, just and that crisscrosses and varies as people get older, and we just go through the events of life. So just meeting them where they are, and that's as with any relationship, but especially with a parent of kids that are no longer kids. That's I think what has allowed us to all stay close, is that not only the 3 kids that I gave birth to, but the 2 stepsons that I have, that with our blended family, and the in-laws that have come along. It's just being cognizant of what they not even need, but who they are, how they like to interact, what their, you talk about love languages, what's their communication style, what do they appreciate. My kids always joke about who my favorite is. They always joke about each of them being the favorite, or asking me, trying to get me to pin it down. And I can honestly say that I love each of them the most for a very specific thing, or a couple things that I identify with and resonate with in them, because we're all different and we're all complex. So I think that's the thing too, is especially as kids get older and they can communicate and they turn into who they're going to be. It's really neat to just connect on the different levels that, some like to hang, some like to only have deep talk, some like to just, give you the lowdown and move on. It's being what they need.
I love that. That's really sweet. You guys are very cool. Guys, I love crocheting so much. Like, potentially too much. Like, apparently there are actually 6 love languages, and the 6th one is crocheting, and it is mine. But low-key, it is so much fun to pour so much of my soul, which does not look present in these time lapses, but that's okay. But into a cute little creation that gets to spread joy and whimsy to the people I love, bringing back our theme of intentionality. I spent time making sure that every item that I've made this year, which is a lot of them, would be something that the person that I was making it for would enjoy, and something that's personally related to them. So, like, for example, this is Missy. Everyone say hi. out loud at home. If you didn't just say out loud at home, "Hi Missy," then I click off. Then this isn't for you. But yeah, this is Missy, and she's one of the best teachers at our school. She's incredibly caring and spends so much time and money making her classroom not only a lovely environment, but also filled to the brim with everything a student can need. From snacks, to hygiene products, to crafting supplies. She's literally the best. And she also has a grand dog. I don't know what the legal term is, but her daughter has a pet dog that is a corgi named Truffles. Shout out Truffles. Go follow Truffles on Instagram. Not even kidding. This is Truffles' Instagram, and you should all go follow it. Go support Truffles. But she loves Truffles very much. And so I made her a scarf that represents her. This portion's brought to you by my dogs, which of course decided to move off camera just as I said that. That's so awesome. So probably the easiest thing I've been doing is like actually watching the reels that my friends send me and responding to their texts in a timely manner. And it's been great. It turns out that my friends are really funny and awesome, and so texting with them doesn't take nearly as much energy as for some reason my brain thinks it does. The thing is, I naturally have the mindset of like, oh, I don't have the energy to respond right now, so I'm gonna wait until later when I'm like a little more awake. But then the more I put it off, the less I feel like responding, and it just stresses me out exponentially. Science. So if you also think like this, I want to let you know that it is so much easier to just respond immediately. Watch the reel. I know it'll feel like the most taxing thing in the world. But please do it. Just save yourself the anxiety, okay? It's worth it. I promise. It's also really cool because it just naturally means that I'm talking with my people more, which is super cool and life-giving, and I love them. So, yeah. Ellie, is this just the... So my biggest goal for this section has been to be attentive and aware. Whenever I'm in group settings with my friends and my family, specifically, just like looking out, head on a swivel, making sure that everyone feels included and seen and appreciated. And it's been so great. It's been my favorite thing that I've done for this project, honestly. It's been really cool. Just spending time like intentionally checking in on people, joking with them, being kind and encouraging. It's really the best. Hey team, what is good? Coming to you live from my incredibly hot car. So a lot of the stuff that I've read on the internet talks about like remembering things, like remembering anniversaries or like that kind of thing. Like just doing little things. It's my favorite thing is how many people talk about like just doing the little things. And so today is my mom's 2-year anniversary of being hit by a car. And she's okay now, everything's fine. But she is a trooper. And today has also been a very stressful day. It's just been a stressful week for her. It's really sucked. And so what we are gonna do, the plan, is I am going to go to Fry's, and I am either going to, depending on what's cheaper and what's easier the more I think about it, is I'm either going to get her a German chocolate cake or get her the stuff to make German chocolate cake because she loves it. And if I get the stuff, obviously I'll make it for her. So I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna get her some flowers probably. Ideally blue hydrangeas because those are her favorite, but she also loves tulips. So I will do that if that is our only option. And then I'm also going to write her a cute little letter, which I'm gonna do in the parking lot because I didn't want to do it at home because, you know. And so, because I'm trying to surprise her. She knows I'm going to Fry's to get something, and I was a little facetious, but yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna do those 3 things at least. So that's the goal. Yeah. My mom, I'm telling y'all, is like my favorite human being on the planet. Like she is so kind and funny and just like genuinely a fantastic person. She is like my inspiration for everything I do. Sorry, I almost like hit 3 different cars.
I'm a really good driver. She is incredibly strong. We've had a rough last couple of years. And she's kind of the glue that holds our family together at times. And she never complains. She's always doing it all with a smile on her face. I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud to be her daughter. I love her very, very much. Mom, if you're watching this, if I put this in the documentary, I love you, Mom. They have these, which are perfect, very vibes of my mom. But they also had this. Whoa, it's the brand. I also got her a coffee because I know her coffee. Yeah, I don't really have that much to say for the rest of this. It's great. It's really cool. Most of this part of my project is just being there for the people that I care about, which is a joy and an honor. Period. So, clock it. Oh, great survey of high school wisdom. Why is it important to give back to your community? I think it's important to give back to the community if you have the means to do so, as someone's social life can be one of the most important parts of their life, and receiving kindness can make them give kindness in return. I think it's very important to give back to your community. In order for a community to survive effectively, there must be a spherical mode of exchange for every interaction, meaning every time the community supports me, I must support them back. Yes, you never know when someone is going through a tough time, and so even giving back by making one person happy can change everything about their mood and how their day is going. Definitely, it's a good way to realize what you should be grateful for while also helping other people. In general, it makes me feel good, and that's definitely the selfish part of why it's important. Obviously, otherwise, it's extremely important to help out the community because everyone deserves help in life, and it's really important to make sure everyone receives that. I think it's definitely important as a positive community can help create better people and puts them in a better spot to succeed. To give back to the community, to spread love, and give my time and energy to other people. To me, this shows that I care about others, and I want to share my gratitude for how amazing and abundant the life I've been given has been. I believe that giving back to your community can inspire younger kids to do the same and build a better and stronger community. Because a sense of community is very important and helping out builds that. Yes, because giving back to your community makes not only your community a happier place to be part of, but it also makes you feel proud of your actions. Bars. Because community service is often given as a punishment or as a required part of some end goal, like for some people, graduation, to some it has the stigma of being boring or at the very least unimportant. I talked to some of the people in my life who give more back to their community than I thought was even possible as a teenager, and so here's how they worded it.
It changed my outlook on a lot of what I do today and a lot of what I see today.
It's the best feeling in the world getting to do good things for other people when you can.
It reminds me of how lucky I am.
Communities do so much to give to you, and it's important to kind of give back in that way that you can through kind of service projects and things like that.
Because I feel like for a long time, like most teenagers, I was stuck in just hiding in my room, scrolling on my phone, or reading a bunch of books, and not doing things that made me feel like I was contributing to my community or doing anything meaningful. So starting to volunteer got me out of my shell. It makes me more comfortable talking to people in general, and also just it makes you feel really good, like you're doing something important that's benefiting other people. So
I feel privileged to be able to go to school. I feel privileged to be able to live with a roof over my head, to have a bed. There are people that I've done community service with who do not have those privileges.
it showed me that my purpose and what I want to do with my life is help other people.
A community is just really important to have, and you have other people to lean on and depend on, but also people that can depend on you, and that's a really important balance to have. And I love my community just because there are always people there for me, and I know that I can always be there for those people as well.
So that's our goal, is to make a positive impact on the community by loving it to death. Yeah. Filming this part in the crochet corner has nothing to do with crochet, but you can't stop me, so don't even try. So Google actually provides a couple of different definitions of community.
all of which are bangers. But I think the one that actually works best for our purpose is a group of interdependent organisms of different species growing or living together in a specified habitat, which is technically the biology definition, but I think she really applies here, because like it or not, we are all interdependent people with different backgrounds and likenesses, and we all need one another in order to thrive. I'm gonna consider our specified habitat Phoenix, Arizona, because that's my habitat, and there's nothing you can do to change that. I'm getting more aggressive with me.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. Do you want to state your name and just something about you?
My name is Griffin Wilson. I am a senior at Shadow Mountain High School.
Nice.
If that works.
Amazing. That's
Okay.
great. How has like being involved in your community and all of that stuff, how has that impacted you?
Yeah. Being involved in my community has really kind of put me in touch with what people need. You know, there's so many different things that people need. It's not always food or not always clothes. There's all sorts of things that people in your community need help with, and so I think it's important. I've had a lot of different experiences helping my community, and just seeing what people need and how people like to help out with one another in ways that I would have never expected.
What advice do you have for someone who's looking to get more involved in their community?
There are so many organizations who need help, who need support, who need people, who need volunteers. So sometimes it's hard to immediately seek out those opportunities, but when you go looking for volunteering opportunities, there's so many ways you can get involved, and you can really tailor your service to ways that you find interesting but also enjoyable. So if you're looking to get involved in your community, I'd say find an organization you're passionate about, reach out. There's always a way to help, and become a valuable member of your community, and just like show your face and just get involved.
So I actually already know at least one of the places that I'm volunteering. Over the summer, I got all prepped and geared up to help lead a 6th grade girls group at my church's junior high ministry, which I'm very excited about. And then Grace told me about this place that she volunteers at called the Arizona Cancer Foundation for Children, which helps provide resources to kiddos and their families who are battling childhood cancer. So that's super duper cool. It's awesome. And then for things that aren't volunteering, I've seen on Instagram where like people will leave like cute little notes around like a grocery store or something. I've seen people do it at the hospital, but I don't want to get sued for putting things on people's cars. But I think that would be really cute and fun to do. And then I also think that it would be kind of fun and cute to post like a random act of kindness challenge on Instagram, because my project has an Instagram. Go follow it. Like I could do where like I'll repost it if you like make a post saying, hey, I did this thing. And yeah, I think that'd be fun community builder, and it's like positive things. Yeah. And then finally, there's this beat up little bulletin board at my high school that I have like this strong emotional connection with. And so I think it has like nothing on it. And so I think it would be really cool to see if I can get it and use it for my project. It's my bulletin board. I want to adopt it, and I want to turn it into something for this. I don't know what that looks like exactly yet, but I think that would be really cute and fun. And we're going to do that, hopefully. I'm on my way to ACFC, and I'm blasting Defying Gravity in my car. We love community service. Back out of my driveway. Okay. So I'm on my way to go volunteer at my youth group for playing guitar and leading the 6th grade girls group. I'm so tired. I did a dumb, and I had a sleepover last night at my friend's house, and we did not go to bed until way too late, and I am really, really freaking tired. So I've got cold brew, and I am not giving up on my commitment to do good in my community. Yeah, I am leaving ACFC on December 9th. It's 4:08 p.m.
Something that was really cool that I took away from this one was I was volunteering with this mom and daughter who had been volunteering there for a little bit, but I had never like done that at the same time as them. And it was really cool because like they were just in talking with them, it was very clear that they were there to volunteer. Like it wasn't like because the daughter had to do service hours for school or because like whatever, like they were just genuinely like, yeah, no, we wanted to be like involved in the community and stuff, which I feel like a lot of times with volunteering, there's either people like assume that you're there just to get hours or like you don't really, your heart's not really in it, right, that kind of thing. I don't know if that's something everyone assumes or if I'm just like projecting because I'm afraid that that's what people assume. But it was definitely really cool and refreshing. Like we were talking about different charity organizations, and they were like, we were talking about this one, and they were like, yeah, I just feel like there isn't enough of like a service element to it. Like it's just too much of like the social aspect. And I was like, that's really cool. Like I don't know. So yeah, that was super refreshing. They were very nice. Hi, the lighting is so great here. Wow. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Fry's, and we're gonna leave fun little notes around on like different things, and we're gonna actually record it this time, so that I can include it in here and I don't completely forget again. So yeah. I'd say that was definitely a success, aside from the fact that I immediately dropped the plant that I got for my friend's birthday when I walked out the door. That was fun. But yeah, it was super cool. I really high-key hated recording myself while putting the notes on because I was trying to be like as inconspicuous as possible, and taking out my giant freaking smartphone. Taking out my giant freaking smartphone in order to record myself putting notes on things was a little odd. I also, it felt a little disingenuous because I know that I'm using this for my capstone, but that's how everything for this project has been so far, and it isn't disingenuous. It was fun though. It was cool. I did get a little tired. I was getting stuff to make a salad, and I really wanted to get home and eat the salad. So that wasn't fun, but other than that, grand old time.
It just occurred to me I should probably be filming this. So I'm at Target,
and I'm grabbing the stuff for our lovely positivity board. And it's December, right? So I'm thinking like a festive theme, secular festive theme. So we got some double-sided tape. And then I thought it could be kind of cute to do like a little wrapping paper as like the background, because the back of it's kind of beat up. And a lot of these are very Christmas, which is, you know, I love Christmas, but I don't want to leave anyone out. So yeah, I'm currently looking for that, like, you know, where it's like flat on one side and then like curvy on the other. I'm looking for that kind of thing. To use as like a border between sections. So okay, so I don't think they have what I'm looking for. Which sucks, but that's okay. So I'm trying to think through like I actually, because the sections I want to have, right? I'm thinking like I wonder if I could do like a couple of like clipboards, like, because like a whiteboard, right, for like my quote of the month or whatever, and then a like a clipboard for like the QR code. I think that could be kind of cute, and then still do the like you know, the cute to use push pins to put the little notes up. Okay, yeah, I think I have a plan. Okay, hang on, let me cook. So, Arizona state law actually forbids me from being on my phone during class, which is when I set up the board, so I can actually record it. But here's what she looks like. She's very cool. She's got countdown that right now is days until winter break, but I'm gonna keep that whiteboard and I'll update it for different year or seasons and stuff. And then the encouragement wall is like little positive notes, like you can do this, that kind of stuff. And the QR code on the flyer over there allows people to like tell me things that they want me to write on there, because apparently I'm not allowed to just give teenagers free reign of a bulletin board in school. That's crazy. But yeah, I really like her. She looks fun and cute, and yeah, woohoo. Oh, and then this is me from the future. Hi. This is what it looked like when I redid it for January. And what's really cool is that the encouragement wall part, so I accidentally, the intention was with that little white bucket that people would write notes that they want me to put on there and then leave them in the bucket, and then I would review them and then put them on the board. And people fully just skipped that step and somehow found a way to pin them on the board. But it was really cool because every day for a solid like 3 weeks, I would walk by and there would be people actively writing notes that were not slurs, had 0 slurs on them, to put on the board. It was like a cute little, like genuinely encouraging other people in our community. And it was super cool. I was like, wow, it's crazy when the community love thing does community love things. I love that. So yeah, I also really liked this version of the board because it had a countdown to season 4 of Bridgerton. Yeah, I was a big fan of that part. Hi. So I have a lot of thoughts, but before I add more, my interviewees had some final parting thoughts to share with all of you.
I think something that's helpful is like remembering my why. Like, why am I doing this? Like, what's the purpose of this? Why did I get into this initially? I think it's important to kind of refocus myself in that space of what was the thing that really brought enjoyment and fulfillment in the very beginning of this project or this schooling, or so that's one thing I think about. Another thing is kind of like, where's the long term? Like, if you are wanting to go to college or a trade school, or man, my goal is to be a stay-at-home mom, cool, then okay, how can I in the here and now like think about the future, to like play the long game instead of just the like, man, this is so tiring and I'm so over the grind. And I think that can be like another helpful perspective to have. But sometimes The greatest thing that we can do too is just taking a nap. Take the nap.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would like to end with love yourself and love your community, love everyone. Find the goodness in people, find the goodness in yourself, and don't settle for a limited amount of love because you think that's what you deserve. Make sure you remind yourself that you are deserving of more love than you can even fathom, because love really does make the world go round in the least hippie possible way. Love and peace and kindness and not physical beauty, but beauty makes the world go round, because the truth of the matter is, one of the quotes that I left on my mirror with my little sister was, you cannot be ugly if you're kind, because ugliness is the outward manifestation of people's inside struggles. So make sure you remember that beauty isn't physical, and you can always choose to love. You can always choose to love.
Have fun, enjoy yourself. Serving your community can be so fun, and it should be fun. So find ways that you can enjoy it and have fun. And that's really important with community service, because when you're passionate, that really shows in your service.
Everyone has a secret weird hobby they don't want to talk about. My advice is find someone to talk about that weird hobby, okay? I like conlanging. I write fan fiction. I can't believe I just said that on camera. But it's helped me go through a lot. You can just find something you love, let yourself love it, and don't be afraid of other people's judgments. Of course there's gonna be haters. Just ignore the haters.
It's hard to not go on Instagram and social media, but if you can, like, instead of sitting on the couch on a Saturday, try volunteering. You might love it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
CC the Wise.
Yeah. I don't know, I think as like through growing up, and I'm the oldest of the siblings that I grew up most of my life with, and through growing up, I think you see your parents one way, and it's really easy to go, well, I'm never going to do that, or I'm never going to do that, or when I have kids, it's going to be different. And then you grow up and you recognize just how much, like, especially like for me, like, mom sacrificed a ton for us, and continues to sacrifice. And through, I mean, I've had kids now for 5 years, and Miley's just turned 18, so my kid was born when she was 13, and watching my mom raising teenagers as I'm raising an infant, and her juggling being a grandma with a mom, with a wife, with an employee full time. Like, it's a very wonderful and special thing that I appreciate, getting to watch how my mom handles life, and being able to know that, like, I have full respect and full admiration for everything she's done, and I'd love to do like half as great as a mom and a person and a woman as my mom did. And so it's a very special thing that I try not to take for granted, because a lot of people don't get that example in their mom or in anybody in their life. And so it's really cool to have someone that I'm like closer to than basically anyone in the world be somebody that I can admire so much.
Well, thank you. There's nothing. What am I supposed to say after that? There's nothing I can say. I would say that I guess having a deep relationship with somebody is more than just, trying to make a deep relationship. Like, before this interview, we've all been laughing about stupid stuff and just like till we cry, just the three of us getting together and
in fun ways, not sad ways.
Yeah, no, like laughing hard, and just seeing my kids become friends with one another as well as they get older, and just how they react or how they interact with each other is just such a huge blessing. And I would say just showing love in your family. Like, we're not always going to get along or totally agree every time with everyone's opinion. And the world's a really wide, has a really wide variety of topics and variety of opinions. And it feels like in the time that we're in now that there's two sets to anything. Like, there's either right or wrong. If you agree with me, you're right. If you don't, you're wrong. And there's not a lot of conversation. And I look at our family made up of, it's a blended family, and it's a family of people who are in wide variety of ages, different perspectives, different opinions, whether those are on tons of different topics, and yet we all are pretty sarcastic people. That would truly probably be our first love language for all of us. Where we're sarcastic and silly and give each other grief, but at the end of the day we love and respect each other, and sometimes agree to either disagree or just at least hear a person out. And so I would say, especially in the times that we live in, that's something that falls by the wayside, and that it, just because you and I, or anybody, it's not you and I specifically, we actually pretty much agree on those things, but
So you think.
because you're usually right. But just kidding. But when people don't agree, there's always room to still talk. And the older you get, like an old lady here, the more that you realize that things are not really always black and white, and that there's a lot of room for gray. There's truth in the world, but there's also compassion, and there's just many shades of how to look at something, and we grow when we understand a lot more about how other people see the world and where they're coming from. So I would say I'm super proud of my kids because of the big diversity of thought among them. They all treat each other really well and love one another. And if we kind of have that at home, then I think it makes it easier to show that going out in the world. That's it.
At the beginning of this year, to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't think that this would be a super difficult project. Time consuming, sure. Encouraging, absolutely. But difficult, not really, because I'm a chronic people pleaser. And so being kind and loving isn't exactly super outside of my wheelhouse. But boy, was I wrong. For example, back in November, I had this whole thing because I was going on a trip to visit family across the country. And so I had all these connecting flights across the nation, and everybody's always tired and cranky at the airport. And so I was gonna do all of these little random act of kindness challenges in all the different airports that I was gonna be in. And it was gonna be super cute, and I even had like a 20-minute long thing where I was explaining it because I just was rambling for 20 minutes. And then when I got to the airport, I was tired and cranky, and I decided that it was easier to be antisocial and just not do what I was supposed to do. So I didn't, which sucks. And it occurred to me that there are people out there for whom that's what life feels like, where maybe they understand that they should be kind, or maybe even they know what it would look like, but they can't just bring themselves to do it, either because of exhaustion, depression, home life issues, mental health stuff, what have you. And that might be you watching this, or it might be somebody that you butt heads with all the time at work. I don't know. But what I do know is this: it takes a ton of effort sometimes to be kind. Like a lot. And that isn't something to be ashamed of. That's the reality of life. And funnily enough, it's what makes it so rewarding. Seeing people's faces light up when you give them an unexpected compliment, or volunteering for an organization that you know is going to significantly impact someone's life for the better, or forcing yourself to shower on days that you feel like being a couch potato for 12 hours. It all makes you feel so accomplished and proud, and it puts life in perspective. So to everyone who is trying, to everyone who does their best to show love, even when it's incredibly hard, thank you. If I could encourage you to take one thing away from this, it would be that the best way to actionably love the people in your life is to be intentional and aware, just to look out for the people around you, whether that's your friends or your family or your community or even yourself. And try to be sensitive to what others might need. And it's totally okay if you mess up and you aren't perfect, because all you have to do is try. Before we're done, there are a couple of people that I want to say thank you to, because none of this would have been possible without them. So firstly, thank you if you made it this far. I know that this was a lot of yapping, but I really hope it was helpful. And if you have any thoughts or things that you just want to talk about, my email is in the description, and obviously there's the comment section. But yeah, I'm very proud of you, and I hope that this was helpful at all. Secondly, I want to thank everyone who let me interview them. It was really cool to hear your guys' perspectives, and it was incredibly helpful, not just to this project, but also to my mental well-being as a senior in high school, because senioritis hits so hard. And then third, thank you so much to all of my amazing teachers. I would like to shout out a couple of them specifically, Missy and Miss Morgan, which if you don't go to my school, that means nothing to you, so just bear with me for like 2 minutes, I'm so sorry. But you guys have supported me so much through this year and really through my whole high school experience. I could not have done it without you, thank you. It means the world to me to know that if I'm having a rough day, I have teachers who will be there for me and help hold me up and support me, so thank you. And I also want to thank Mr. Story, who is my advisor. He's the advisor for all of our capstone projects. And he has given me so much good advice for this, and I've learned a lot this year, but also every year that I've had him. Because he is an amazing teacher, and I really appreciate him. So thank you, Mr. Story. And then finally, I know they aren't technically my teachers, but I do want to say thank you to my youth pastor, Dan Horner, and his amazing wife, Amber, and all of my incredible youth group leaders and small group people. You guys get me through the week, and so thank you so much. You show me every day what it looks like to be loving and to honor those around you, so thank you. And then finally, one more, I swear. Thank you so much to my family. Everyone has been so kind to me this year, even when I'm pestering them to send me their love languages or I'm being cranky. You guys have made me into the person I am today, so thank you so much. I love you guys. You're all very amazing. Oh, and I forgot to put in here, thank you to my dogs for walking in front of the camera like 12 times. Yeah, okay. I love you guys.